this is my Fridays 5. So my Fridays 5 is where I reach out to people that have inspired me, that I know or want to know, and ask them a series of questions. And I hope that they inspire you as well. The views today are my own and not necessarily guaranteed rates, and also my guest's own and not necessarily guaranteed rates as well. So today I've got Christine Suave Crum from Gentry Moving and Storage. Thank you so much for being on this. I am delighted to finally, after all these years, instead of seeing our fun little photos on Facebook, be able to meet you officially in person or virtually for 2020 version.
Thank you. I feel the same way, Suzanne. I'm delighted. And I was delighted when you asked me to be a part of this. So thank you for having me.
I'm so psyched. And I'm going to go into my first question that I love asking people on Fridays 5. And I want to know, what inspires you?
I think a lot of different things. I think my daughter inspires me to always be better, right? Be bigger, be better than I was yesterday. Helping people is really important to me. It's a big inspiration in what I do. I really believe that in business, we need to put the people first, the customers first. And when you do, everything else kind of naturally comes to you. So Gentry has always been built on the belief of putting people first, and making sure that I'm doing right by everyone really does keep that inspiration going, keeps that happiness going. And I just love people. People inspire me. Good people inspire me.
Yeah. Were you one of those that I don't know, was like a social butterfly and
Oh yeah. So yes, I'm definitely a people person. I really get a lot of energy from other people's energy, which there's a whole Zoom thing right now is throws me off, because I really like to be in the room with someone. I like to get their vibe. I like to catch their energy. Tells you a lot about a person, is how you feel in their presence. So yeah, I'm a people person, and people in general, whether I know you, you're a stranger, I'm reading a autobiography, people's stories inspire me.
And how perfect that you're dealing with moving, which is, I'm sure you've heard some interesting stories.
Oh yes. And you get, it's funny because you get that, it's kind of an interesting thing. You get that first time home buyer who calls and they're so excited. This is the beginning of a new adventure for them. Same thing goes with that new family that might be moving into their next house, right? They left their first house. Now they've got a child or two and they're moving into their next house. On the flip side, we have a portion of a business called Seniors on the Move, where we do help seniors downsize and move into senior communities or into smaller homes. And for them, it's not always a joyous thing that they're stepping down from their home that they've raised all their children and their grandchildren in. Sometimes they're leaving for reasons that, make your heart bleed for them. So we do get a lot of stories. You get the stress, you get the excitement.
So my next question I love to ask people is about pivotal moments they've had in their life. Are there any moments or moment in your life that you're like, wow, that is the reason I'm here, or it was such a defining moment for me?
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I've had quite a few in my life, but I am going to tell you that I think the most recent one that has been most life-changing for me has been within the walls of my business with Gentry. About a little over a year ago, I made the decision to step up and really be more of the voice and face of the company, not just the girl on the truck, not just the girl that covered only a portion of the business. I really have made a decision. Some life changes have made me realize that I really want to step up and take full ownership of this wonderful business that my family has built. And in doing so, I've grown so much in the past year. You find strengths that you didn't know you had. You become very resourceful when you need to be. Things that may have been weaknesses tend to poke back up, and they force you to really take a look at who you are, dig down deep, and pull out all those suitcases and unpack them. And I'm pretty proud of the work that we've done here. I have an amazing staff that make me better. They make me look better every day. I wish I could have them all standing around me. But that change, that necessary change that Gentry needed to take about a year ago, really was pivotal for me, and it was a great thing. I am a girl boss.
Yeah, hashtag girl boss. And I
Yeah.
can feel it because I can almost feel like as you're talking about it, I'm like it seems like you went through almost like a metamorphosis. Like, do you feel like from where you started versus where you are now, like that must have been, did you have to like shed things that you were doing before that you're like, oh, I can't do that anymore? Or like talk about, without getting too deep if you don't want to, but talk about
Yeah.
some of that process. Like how did you get through some of that? Or you might have had self-doubt, right?
So I think it was more of a coming into my own, to be perfectly honest with you. I actually, so my degree, I carry 3 degrees and they're in education. And I was an educator for a very long time in a classroom, loved every minute of it. Very different thing. You are in control of your environment. You've got your lessons, they're planned out. For the most part, your day goes as a very structured day. When I stepped into the business full time, all of the beautiful, wonderful dances of a day in the life of Gentry Moving Storage, all the moving pieces, all the things that go right, all the things that go wrong, really was an adjustment for me. And it tapped into parts of my personality, parts of my personal toolbox that I never, either I hadn't used or I hadn't used to their full capacity or ability. So truly, honestly, standing up and wearing that boss hat it's not like boss in the sense that I get to tell you what to do. It's boss in the sense that you need to stand up and you need to own, right, your decisions, and you need to own everything that you're doing within the walls of this business, not only for my employees, for my admin staff, for myself, but for all my clients, and it's been kind of fun. It's fun. If you told me when I was a little girl that I was going to grow up to be the owner of a moving company in a man's world, I would have laughed, and said, oh, forget it, but here I am. And it's been a really fun ride. I got to tell you.
That's freaking awesome. That's definitely awesome. Well, my third question, I think might help some of the people that are watching this, and I hope a lot of people are watching this. Who have been some of your mentors?
Well, interestingly enough, walking through this world of business, which is not, which is my degrees are education. It's been kind of fun to tap into the way different people do business, or the way different people believe in how to run their business. I am a student of people, right? I told you I like people. I like being around them. I like watching them. I've had the blessing of being a part of a lot of networking groups, not necessarily a very structured BNI, but more like 20, 25 like-minded businesses that want to get together on a weekly basis and share about their experience, about how they run their business, what their business does. They're looking for business. But for me, sitting there in these rooms with people that are new business owners, very seasoned business owners, very well-known business owners in the state of Rhode Island, those networking days for me, for some people might have been more of a social meeting because they're so their businesses are well-oiled machines. For me, they were learning. Every week I sat in there and I really learned something about each and every one of the people in those groups, their philosophies of business, but also how that would have affected how I felt about myself or my business. So to say, did I have one real mentor per se? The answer is not one, but I think a beautiful conglomeration of a lot of people that I admire. And they come from all different walks of life, and interestingly enough, not one of them is in the moving industry.
I think you can learn so much from others, and way better sometimes than the school or curriculum or structure type learning.
Yes, and as an educator, who that's that's what we're meant to do, right? Mm-hmm. We're given a task and a way to do it, and we do it. It's that beauty of like in a classroom in those breakouts where the kids all group up and then they teach each other, they work amongst themselves. It's that same vibe. The things that people have shared with me, even little nuances, little bits of information, you take them back and then you make them your own. And I think that's kind of been the fun of stepping up in this role of president and boss and really, really getting down dirty with it.
So my fourth question is, what books have you read, or what podcasts do you follow? Like, are there things that you can share that have shaped you and that are your go-tos?
Well, I'm in the process of reading You Are a Badass.
I have it. I read it. Jen Sincero or something like that, right?
So I'm in the process of that one, and I'm not a big reader of books. I'm not a big podcast chick. I would much rather go to coffee with you, and I'd much rather pick your brain and learn about you and what makes you successful one-on-one. Although I'm starting to, because sitting with people like you and I, who are like, have you read this book? Have you tried, to listen to this? So I'm starting now to put together a library of things I need to look at. And that is the first one that is on my list that I'm just getting started with. So I can't really impart any shining light wisdom on that, but I can tell you, if you ask me, I'd much rather sit with you, Suzanne, and I'd much rather pick your brain in person.
Yeah, it's funny. That was the start of doing this and doing some of the other stuff that I'm doing, because I've had so many amazing conversations in my life.
Yes.
Ahead, and I haven't written them down, and I'm like, I want to get this out there. I want people to see the inspiring people that have touched me and stuff. So last one, which really isn't a question, it's more a statement, and I think you've done such a great job in talking a little bit about Gentry. Speak about what you do and what your business is, and I want to know more about it, and I want to get more out about it.
So 16 years ago, Gentry came about, where we wanted to start a family business, and interestingly enough, moving was the target that was we'd known most about. So Gentry began. It started out with one truck and two men that were doing moves for us, and little by little, over time, I think what we were trying to create for a moving company started to crystallize. For example, moving companies get a really bad rap. They, unfortunately, oftentimes they don't show up, or the people that come, they take your belongings and they don't return, or they tell you one price and they bait and switch you, and there's another. So there's a lot of negative around movers. And that was something that we definitely wanted to try and take that stigma away. So it was important to us to hire trustworthy individuals. We wanted our men and women, because we've had both work for us, be uniformed, neat, clean, polite, to give, when they enter that house, when normally often it's a mom or a woman home, sometimes with small children or by herself, she's letting three strangers into her home, touching all of her belongings. We wanted to make sure that the people that we are hiring and putting forth, into your home are people that everyone would feel comfortable with. We wanted the move to be smooth, a transaction that was as stress-free as possible, because moving day is crazy. A lot of heavy emotions are at play. And the last thing you want is to have to worry about, is everything getting from point A to point B safely? And that's something that we proudly work very hard to take off of our clients' plate. We just wanted to change the view of movers that is out there. We wanted to give a better product, a better move, better people, better everything. And I think feel really blessed that I think our reputation precedes us at this point. We have 16 years now, 8 trucks. We've got a 25,000 square foot warehouse. We do long distance moves, so we can go from Maine to Florida, and we go as far as Chicago. So we've really now have a menu of services that we offer to our clients, that if you had told me, December 23rd of 2004 that this is where we would be 16 years later, I would have never believed it. It's been a really fun ride, and one that I'm really proud of.
Have you ever experienced any resistance being, in a male-dominated field?
So the answer to that is a yes. For the longest time, I had a male partner that I worked with, so I could always hide behind, when I needed that male presence, it was there. So it but in the beginning, when I first was going for my licensing, in Rhode Island, you actually, to get your licensing, it's actually an interesting thing. You actually have to testify in a courtroom, hand on the Bible.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. In order to obtain your licensing. And so we were on the docket to do this, and it was my turn, as you would say, to do this. And this courtroom was chock full of the other male business owners of moving companies here in Rhode Island. And I thought to myself, wow, there's a lot of people here. This is kind of interesting. It wasn't until the portion where they can get up and stand and speak that I realized that every single solitary one of those men in that room with me was there to contest my licensing.
Whoa.
And each one of them stood up and explained to the judge why I shouldn't get my license. Some of it was practical things, like they didn't think that there was enough room for another moving company. There wasn't enough work to go around. And then some of it was blatantly sexist. Like, what does she know? What is she going to bring to the plate? And it was a very interesting couple of days worth of testimony in order to be where I am today. It was very humbling. I don't even know the word to use.
Yeah.
But it really was. And I think, but once you got out there, and once we started making a difference in the industry, and people realized we meant business, we were here to make a mark, I think they realized that Gentry Moving and Storage was the real deal. And 16 years later, we're still here, loving what we're doing, and hopefully giving our customers exactly what we promised, which is a really good move.
I'll tell you what, you're truly inspiring. So now I know for sure why Pat told me to reach out to you, and I hope a lot of ladies watch this. I hope they have their daughters watch this, or anyone that might be thinking, why not me? Because to be able to persevere through that, and to not back down, and to stay true to your values and what you were creating, it's a testament to everything that you've done. I'm so delighted you said yes.
Thank you. I appreciate you listening to my story, and I'm always happy to share it. And I feel the same about you and Pat, all of us, right? Strong women out there, right? We can do this, right?
Yeah.
Listen, women in the business world, I just think I've met so many and beautiful, inspiring, smart women throughout this adventure of a business that I've had. And let me tell you, we're a lucky bunch here in Rhode Island. We've got some really amazing female leaders, and I'm proud of every single one of them, and especially the ones that I call friends. And thank you, Suzanne, for having me on as a friend. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.